Hey everyone, welcome back to Believe in the Good. I have taken a little break, took a little break for my birthday, and just took a little break for some summer fun, kind of ending the summer with our kiddos before they started school. And I am really excited to get back into it. I've got some really fun interviews planned. And I also want to know if you have any recommendations of who to interview. I love getting your messages, so please keep sending them. I do see a lot of the ones that you've said. I get it. I've asked some of the girls. Some of the girls are not ready for it. Some of the girls don't want to do a podcast, which I totally get. Some of them are just busy, which I get. Some of them don't want to put themselves out there to be analyzed by the world. I don't know why I want to do that. I mean, I don't want to do that either. I totally understand and respect it. So everybody has their own reasons for why they want to do something or don't want to do something. This has been, for me, like I've said so many times on here, this was just sort of a thing that God put on my heart to talk to these girls and sort of let them tell their story and be able to get to know them a little bit. Because so often in racing, which is the majority of the women that I've interviewed and talked to have been women in racing. So many of them, it's about their husband or boyfriend, fiance, whatever it is, and we don't get to know a lot about them. And so that's why I wanted to do this. It's definitely not about me. It's about these women and getting to love on them and allowing you guys to get to know them. So I just have really enjoyed getting to know these girls. It's definitely created a lot of new friendships. Yeah, it's been really beautiful. Let's see what Ty has to say. Hello. I'm recording the intro to my podcast. Oh, what are you doing? You're
I'm early to
you're live
my
on air.
partner's oh, shoot, okay. I'm early to the simulator, so I just gave you a call. Check in. I was gonna update you day, but
Do you have anything to say for my intro to Haley's episode?
this is the coolest podcast in the world. Woo-hoo! That's my girl.
All right. I'll call you back. This episode coming up is with Hailey. We just recorded it. I absolutely loved it. She and I haven't ever really met each other in person. Unless we have, and my mommy brain is just mush and I didn't remember it, which I would feel terrible. Sorry, Hailey, if that was the case. But I'm pretty sure that we've not met in person. We texted a little bit and she reached out to me about hiring a doula. Jamie McDowell gave her my info. And so she talked to me about that because she's pregnant, which is so exciting. Yeah, she was messaging me a little bit about that. And then I asked her, of course, would she want to come on the podcast? And this was about a month ago and she was not feeling very good. And she was like, let's do it in a couple weeks when I feel a little bit better. And I'm so happy for her that she's feeling better. And anyway, this was just really cool getting to talk to her. I'm excited for you guys to hear about her. She, as she said, self-proclaimed, she's like, I'm a little bit of a hermit and I don't feel like people know us super well. So this is so fun that you guys are going to get to learn a little bit more about Hailey. And Hailey, I mean, she has the best name ever. It's incredible that that's her name. Anyway, enjoy this episode with her. She is a breath of fresh air and it was really, really fun.
I was like, "Oh, I really have a stacked day." I
Yeah.
have to go to the DMV, and then I have the podcast, and then I have dinner. And I'm like, "Okay," and Haley's doing this with 3 kids.
Oh man, I know. It's interesting because the big kids just started school. And then yesterday I had a bunch of stuff going on. And so today's been the first day and then yesterday I had stuff going on. So today's been the first day that I've had kind of a chill day it was, mostly quiet, and Bear, our youngest, is now taking a nap. I'm like, we're in it. We're in
Yeah.
the chill zone of school has started. I mean, summer was crazy and it's a lot having 3 at home, and I was not the mom crying because my kids went to school. I was very,
Yeah.
very ready.
I know, I'll get, a little sprinkle of that soon. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so silly that I feel like I'm, so busy, and I'm like, I have
No.
0 obligations,
You know what? It's funny though, because it's just you adapt to your life. I've talked to a couple girls about that on the podcast about how I'm like, remember when I remember going to the mall when I lived an hour from the mall in South Park and they had a Teavana and I went to the mall just to buy tea. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, now the logistics of that are just like there's so much more chaos.
Yeah, now you're like, "I would have to plan that for a week."
Yeah. Now that would take a lot more, figuring out. It's just so funny. But then, you do figure it out and you still do go to the mall just to buy tea or whatever, but, it just takes a little more planning. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so funny. So anyway, it is so fun to have you on. This is so interesting because you and I have not really met or had the chance to talk, and
I know. This is,
this
like,
is so
kind of
fun.
like our first, like, real like, we've texted a little bit, but,
Yeah. This is our
like
first time getting to sort of meet, so
I
I'm
know, like, our
looking
paths
forward
haven't
to.
really crossed, so
Yeah. Are you gonna go to Daytona?
I am, yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well, we will have to see each other.
I'm trying to go to as many as I can, like, pre-baby so that
Yeah.
I I don't know, I just, like we're kind of just in this little bubble where it's just us 2 for just a little bit while longer, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to, like, make the most of it and
Soak it all in.
before we have a 3rd member of the family, so
Yes. So, big announcement. You guys haven't quite announced it yet. Obviously, I'll not post this until you have, but you are pregnant.
yeah,
So, woohoo!
I know,
How do you
I'm so
feel?
excited. I feel good now. The last, like, 3 weeks have been a lot better, so I'm officially halfway.
Oh, you
Um,
are.
so I'm 20 weeks, and for the first, I would say, like, 17, maybe, like,
Yeah.
16, 17, it was, like, pretty rough there for
Yeah.
a little while. It's like, I think there was, like, a 5-week span that I don't even know if I left the house. I was just, like,
Uh,
down bad in bed, so sick. So, I feel like I'm kind
yeah.
of out of the trenches of the first trimester, and now I feel like I'm a person again.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My gosh, I get it. And then when no one really knows in that first pregnancy, you're kinda like, I don't know, it's can be a doozy. So do you know what you're having?
Yeah, we're having a girl.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, we're having a girl, so and I got sick so early too. I was convinced for the longest time that we were having twins. Like, even
Oh,
after my 8-week ultrasound, I was like, I really 'cause I've heard people say, like, that have
the
had twins,
sicker.
like, they were so, so sick, and I was like, I don't know, like, something and now I know, like, it's just kind of normal. Like,
Yeah,
people like, sometimes people get really sick, sometimes people aren't sick at all, but in, like,
yeah,
different pregnancies, you have different experiences too, so maybe for our next one, I won't be sick at all, but
yeah.
yeah, so we found out actually on his birthday, which
When's that?
April 28th.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So I had only taken a test because anytime I like thought that there was like maybe the chance, I would just kind of pretend I was and then
Yeah,
find out later that I'm not. And it was
yeah,
his birthday and I was like, okay, like I want to have some wine. So like I'll just find out a little early if and take a
yeah.
test and whatever. And I was not expecting it to be positive at all.
Oh
Like, there
my
was
gosh.
0 part of me that thought that I was, especially because I have thought that I was in the past and even,
Yeah,
like, psyched myself into, like, having morning sickness and, like, all these symptoms, and then I
yeah,
wasn't, and so now I was like, "I there's no chance," and so I just, like, took the little test, like, kinda went on with my morning routine, like, forgot I even really took it, and
yeah,
then I see it there and it says pregnant, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I don't even know what to do with myself." Like, I just
yeah.
ran and I was crying. I showed Justin and he's like, I didn't know that was even an option right now."
Yeah. Had you guys so you said you had thought you were pregnant maybe a couple of other times. Were you guys trying?
So had kinda we were never really trying, but we were never really not
Not trying.
trying,
Yeah.
and actually, we had kind of maybe last summer decided, maybe it's best to wait, like, we wanted to just be in maybe, like, a little bit more of, like, a stable position, like, be in our forever home, like, him feel like he's, like, stable in his career, which I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if anyone ever really achieves that in this, but
Right. That's so true. That's where we're at through each of our pregnancies as well. It's like, do we do this because we're so uncertain where we're at, but it's just the nature of the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've like, all I've ever wanted was to be a mom, and so that was a
Oh,
little bit of, like, a heartbreak for me when I was like, "Well,
yeah.
obviously you want your husband to want it at the same time as you." So,
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, we'll just wait until, like, he's ready," because 'cause I'll just always be ready, and, like, we're young, so we're not really in a hurry or anything, and then it just kind of happened out of nowhere, and so,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
we're forced to be ready.
You know what? Even when you do all that, like we thought we were ready, you know? We were trying to have Oakley our first, and you think even when you prepare and you think you're ready, it's just crazy. I mean, having
Yeah.
a baby, you never know, you're never ready, you rise
Yeah,
to the occasion.
yeah, and with the first obviously, this is my first time being pregnant, and so just, like, I don't know, it's just uncharted territory, and so it is
Yeah.
so exciting, and it is, like,
Yeah.
I feel like as women, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, like, "Is that even an option for me?" Is that gonna be
Yeah.
something that I'm gonna be able to do? Like, I've always had that fear in the back of my head, and, so
I
just
know.
knowing that, like, okay, this was possible, like,
Yeah.
God did this, like, that is so exciting.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
old are you guys?
I'm 27, he's
Okay.
26. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm, like, 10 months older than him, 9 months older than him, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. He got
Yeah,
himself an older lady.
I know. Which is so funny because I feel like I'm younger than him, and he feels like
Yeah.
he's older than me, like, he's just more of the, like,
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Well, that's so exciting. 27, having your first baby.
I
Gosh,
know.
it's gonna be so cool. So when are you due then? If you're 21,
January 5th.
January 5th. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so for
nice.
not being planned, it worked out really well that it's
Yeah,
in the off season. Yeah.
definitely. So nice. And then even you can have him come to a lot of your appointments when he could come to those later ones when they get a little more frequent. So
Yeah.
it'll be nice.
Yeah, kind of when we're in, like, the, like, later stages of, like, the 3rd trimester, like, he'll be able to, like, be around, which will be really nice. I've, like, really felt for the people that like, I watching, like, Jordan and Alexa, like,
Yes.
be so close to being due in the middle of racing, and I watched, your episode with Jordan,
Yeah.
and I was like, "That would just be so hard." Like,
I
just
know.
especially, like, for your first I know they've done it before and stuff, so it, like, maybe is would feel a little different, but I would just, like I just commend them for that.
It is so nice that you don't have to worry about that because it is such an especially with your first baby, like you say, like
Mhm.
that is such an unnecessary or an unwanted pressure. Like you
Yeah.
never know what that first birth is going to be like. You can't, once you've had one or two, you can maybe kind of guess like this is what my body does. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
so that's really nice. January, that'll be, what if it's a New Year's Eve baby? That would be
I
so,
hope it's a New Year's Eve baby.
yeah,
My dad was born on New Year's Eve,
no
so
way.
I thought that would be so fun, and I just found out someone was telling me, they're like, "Oh, you better hope you have her in December, because then it like, your insurance, whatever, everything you've done this year will
Oh
apply," and I was like, "I didn't even think of that." Like,
my
there's so
gosh.
much I don't know.
I know. That's so just like a thought that doesn't even really cross my mind when I'm like, you have so much more on your plate when you're pregnant.
Right? Exactly. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I haven't even" that hasn't been a thought that even has crossed my mind, so I was like, "Oh, well, there's something else to think about."
I know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is so exciting. It's really cool to have you on and talk to someone that I don't know much about. So tell me everything about you. Like, where'd you grow up and how did you and Justin meet? And what are your thoughts getting into this world of racing? Like, tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about yourself.
So I am from Minnesota, like
Okay.
rural Minnesota, not a very big town. Grew up there. I have one older brother. We're really close. My parents, I have like the best parents ever. I had the best childhood. I
Oh,
like feel so lucky to have the family that I have.
yeah.
I wish they would move down here. I hope that maybe a
Yeah.
grandbaby will entice them, but,
Yeah.
um,
That's really
I
sweet.
I grew up doing sports. I did sports in college. I ran track at South Dakota State
No
for
way. You went to South Dakota State?
Mhm.
One of our neighbor friends, I think, went there. He's
Really?
older. He's older than you. He's like 36, but what a small, because I've
Yeah.
never heard of anyone going to school there. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a
small
pretty,
world.
like I mean, it's, like, big enough to, like, be Division I and, like, a
Right. He played
mid-major school,
football there,
whatever,
I think.
but there's
Anyway,
he played football there? Is that what
I
you said?
think so, yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna have to ask, and I'll text you. I'll report back, but I'm pretty sure that's where he
Yeah,
went.
because that would be so random. Yeah,
I
you really
know.
don't, like, hear that college hardly ever, but,
No.
uh
But you ran track in college? I mean, that's big.
yeah, I, like,
That's
feel
a
like
big
that was
deal.
past life, like, to me,
Yeah.
that was so like, it wasn't that long ago, but, like, the thought of me right now running fast and going over hurdles, I think would
Might
would
induce labor.
yes.
Maybe later on we'll try to do some hurdles.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did that. I was a walk-on initially, and then,
Wow.
I got good enough to earn a scholarship, loved that experience, met some of the best friends that I've ever had. I always tell people, like, there's so many avenues for women in sports in college. It's
Yeah.
like, if anyone ever wants to be, like, a college athlete, email the coaches, like, your dream schools, email them, like, basically every woman that they can get on a sports team is another guy they can get on a football team or a baseball team.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like yeah, so it is, like, because of Title IX, like, they have leveled the playing field so much, there are so many opportunities for
Wow.
girls to go do sports in college, and there are so many unused scholarships as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
such a good thing to know for
Yeah.
listeners. Well, if anyone is, I
I
mean,
know.
anyone's daughter is interested in sports, anyone personally listening, like, was that's a world I don't know anything about, so that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, I tell everyone that will listen, like, I
Yeah.
feel like there are so many kids that don't give themselves the opportunity because they just don't think that they're good enough, and
Yeah.
you might not be good enough to run at the conference meets or, like, qualify for the NCAA meets or whatever, but maybe by the time you're a junior and a senior, you will, you know?
Yeah,
So you
and
never
you
know.
never know the scholarships you might be able to gain through something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so thankful for that experience. That
Yeah.
was, like, some of the best years. I
That's
majored
cool.
in early childhood education and elementary education, which is, like, basically kinda the same thing, just with different ages. I,
Is that something that you would want to do?
kind of. I really wanted to be a child life specialist at a children's hospital.
Oh, wow,
That
yeah.
was kind of what I was like the avenue I was wanting to go, which is, like, a little bit more school, but that was kind of, like, where I was called to. I always knew I loved teaching, but I was like, "I'm gonna be one of those people that gets burnt out after 5 years." Like, it is just so much.
Yes. I mean, my kids just started last Wednesday, and I commend those teachers. I don't know how. I mean, I was doing homework with my 7-year-old last night, my 2nd grader, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, "Oh, I don't know how to." It's just not in me, and so I'm so grateful for them.
yeah,
You guys are a special breed for sure. But
I know. I loved teaching when I did it. A it was a lot of fun, it was very rewarding,
yeah.
but and then after college, I moved to Florida with my best friend,
So what
and
drew you there?
she had moved there a year before I did, and so when COVID happened, I got my year of eligibility back,
Mm.
to run again, and
Oh,
I was, like, kind of on the fence about it, and I was like, "You know what? Like, I'll take my 5th year." So most of my, like, core friends had graduated a
mm,
year before I did since I chose to go back for my 5th year, and so they were all kind of, like, spread out in the workforce, and she had decided that she wanted to move to West Palm Beach, Florida,
fun.
and so my whole, like, 5th year of college, I was just watching her have, like, the best time, and I was like, "I think I need to move there," you know? My college was only a couple hours from my hometown, so I was like, I wasn't the most adventurous with that choice, so I was like, "Maybe I should just go live somewhere fun for a little while.
Yeah.
Parents were a little mortified, I think, but
I was gonna say, what did your family think? Or they were did they go visit?
yeah, they did come visit often, but they're, like, the most supportive, like, anything that me or my brother want to do, like, they're totally behind us being independent in whatever way we wanna be, so I moved down there and lived there for a couple years. I think I lived there for 3 years. Yeah, and then I moved straight from my place with her to living with Justin, so
So where in the mix did you and Justin start talking, or how'd you meet him?
yeah. So I went to a race with my family, and
Oh, okay.
me and my mom know, like, really nothing about racing. My
Yeah.
dad and my brother have watched it forever and
Oh,
really
okay.
so to keep me and my mom interested since we know nothing about racing, we all picked 3 drivers to, like, put a little money in a pot and, like, hope they win, and just so we had someone like, people to root for. And so we were listening to driver intros, and I heard Justin Haley from Winamac, Indiana, like,
Yeah.
24 years old or whatever, and I was like, "That's my name."
Yeah.
And, like, he's also a Midwest kid, like, around my age, whatever, and then they had said that he had won the Xfinity race the day before.
Yes. Okay, so I remember that year.
Yeah, and so I was like, "He's already warmed up." Like, he knows the track, like, I'm like, "He knows where all the little bumps and stuff are already,"
Yeah.
you know? I'm like, "He's gonna do great." And so I, told my family, I was like, "Oh, I wanna trade one of my picks for him." And my dad and brother, having watched a lot of racing, they're like, "Oh, don't do that." Um, and
Justin's like, "Thanks, guys. Thanks for
yeah,
the
now
treat."
he's like, "Thanks." 'Cause I was like, "Oh, I'll get rid of, like" 'cause they had given me like, I asked who does the best here, like,
Yeah.
statistically, and so
Yeah.
I got rid of, like, Denny or the probably best statistical chance of winning,
Winning.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Nope, I want the kid." So we watched, and then he ended up getting, like, 6th or 7th or whatever, but he beat everyone else that my family had
Yeah.
picked, and so
Oh
I
my
won,
gosh.
like, $30.
Nice.
And so, like, a couple weeks later or something, like, for some reason, his name popped in my head, and so I, like, searched him on Instagram, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like, he's kinda cute, whatever," and so I sent him a message and was just like,
Oh my
"Hey,
gosh.
just, like, wanted you to know you won me $30, like, thank you." And, he, like, jokingly responded back and was like, "I'm so happy I could contribute," whatever. And then it had
Oh
kind of
my gosh.
right?
I
Isn't that,
love
like,
this.
such a silly story?
That's
But
so cute.
so then we had kind of, like, sparked, like, a friendship, I don't know, like, we just, like, would, like, text here and there, whatever, like, he'd call me, like, we wasn't consistent at all, but, like, just became good friends, and then a few like, I think it was a couple months later, I had a wedding in Minnesota, and I had a layover in Charlotte, and I had, like, jokingly told him, like, "I'll be in Charlotte for, like, 45 minutes," you know?
Yeah.
And, like, he was like, "Whatever," didn't really say anything back. And then knowing what I didn't know this about him now, but he's super into, like, aviation and flying and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
And so I on my flight to Florida, there was a big storm, and so we were kind of flying in circles for a while, and he had looked and seen that I was not gonna make my connecting flight, and it was, like, midnight. And so I land and I turn my phone back on, and I have this message from him, and he's like, "Hey, if this, like, really freaks you out, like, let me know, and I can, like, call you an Uber or something." But he's like, "I didn't want you in a foreign city, like, that you don't know." Like,
Yeah.
so I'm at the airport. I was
Oh
like,
my
"Oh,
gosh.
okay." So that was the
That is
first
so cute.
I know, which is so funny because he is, like that was very bold, and he's not, like,
He
always the most
knew.
bold person. So
That's like one of those God things. I feel like that's
right?
how
Yeah, like
Ty was very like, knowing him after the fact, I'm like, "I cannot believe some of the things you did."
right?
Sounds like Justin's the same way.
And it gets funnier. So I,
That's
like
so romantic that he would be like, "I
and
know where
another
you are."
Yeah.
And I'm here if you need me.
Yes. But he's like, "But, like, if this freaks you out, like, I'll get
Yeah,
you an Uber," you know?
yeah.
But, so I was like, "Yeah, like, absolutely," and he was like, "You can come stay at my house, but also, like, I'll bring you to a hotel, like, if, like, that is way too weird for you," and I was like,
Like, there's enough knowledge of where he had to have gotten to this point in his career that he can't be that bad of a guy.
"Yes,
Like, he's
yes,
been vetted. I
yes,
feel
exactly."
like I could trust him at least, like
Yeah, and at least at the very least to just drive me to a hotel. Like,
yes.
what
Yeah,
better Uber driver than someone that drives professionally?
yeah. A stellar Uber driver. Professional driver, Uber driver.
Exactly. So I was like, the house thing's a little, like, that's a little too much for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
just, like, take me to an airport that's near to a hotel that's near the airport so that, like, I can get on another flight the next day or whatever. Because he had seen that there was not another flight to Minneapolis from Charlotte until, like, noon the next
My
day or
gosh.
something.
Did this, like, surprise you? Had you guys been kinda flirty, or were you kinda like, "Whoa, this is the first sort of romantic gesture he's taking," or were you guys
It
kinda
was
flirting?
it was the first, like, kind of, like, big gesture, like, there was not, like, a lot of, like, it was pretty platonic, like, we had gotten to know each other really well,
Yeah.
but, like, so I felt, like, comfortable being, like, in a car
Yeah.
with him at least, but it was the first, like,
Maybe he kinda likes me.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
that was something, you know?
Yeah.
But and another God thing, it was on one of the this was on a Friday, and, like, they're hardly ever home on Fridays.
Right.
So just the fact that he was, like, even in the area.
Around. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder where he was racing that weekend.
I don't remember where it was, but it was during the season, so it must have
Yeah.
been, like, Charlotte or somewhere close, I don't
Yeah.
know. But, yeah, so that was the first time that we met in person, and then we kind of just went, like, the next, like, year, over a year of just, like, still being, like, call each other out of the blue, like, catch up, whatever, but not, like, talking consistently, like, we would go, like, a couple months without speaking or anything,
Yeah.
and he'd just call me and we'd talk for a couple hours, and, like, that was that, and then one day, it was in December, he called me and he's like, "Hey, um, do you wanna get lunch tomorrow?" And I said, "Are you gonna be in Florida?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, yeah, like, we can grab lunch, you know?" And he said, "Okay. Can you pick me up at the airport at 11 and drop me back off at 3?"
Okay.
And I said,
So what was his did he just go down there?
"He just flew to have lunch with me."
Oh my god.
And so but he,
I
like,
think
didn't
I'm
tell me.
gathering that it's like, "Justin, shoot your shot, bro." Like
Yes, yes,
like,
very
maybe
bold.
he wasn't maybe that first time picking you up at the airport, he didn't know how to be like, "Okay, bye." Like, he
Yeah,
didn't
he
know
didn't know
how
how
to
to be like, "I'm interested, but."
yeah, like, "Hey, I'm go pick me up and then drop me off 4 hours later." That's so funny. Okay, so keep going.
So, like, we had lunch, and that was, like, our first time really, like, spending a long amount of or, like, at least over an hour with each other, you know?
Yeah.
And so that went really, really well, and that was,
So
like,
wait, back up, when he picked you up at the airport, he just dropped you off at a hotel, you guys didn't, like, hang out for a while?
no, because it was, like, midnight, and I think he raced the next day,
Oh my
which
god.
also, if you know him now, like, he does not play about his sleep, and also does not like, we do not leave the track on race weekends, like, we are not go out to dinner people, we are like,
Yeah,
"This is where we are." And so
okay.
just the fact that he even was, like, willing to do that at midnight the night before a race or something, like.
Oh, it's very telling. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So he came and had lunch with me, and then I think that was, like, maybe, like, 2nd week of December, and then he was like, "Well, when can, like, we see each other again?" Because we, like, hit it off, and I think we knew, like, okay, we're both very interested.
Yeah.
And, then I'm pretty sure the next time I saw him, he flew to Minnesota, like, it was right before Christmas. He didn't, like, spend Christmas with us, but and, like, met my whole family,
Oh my
and so
gosh.
that was, like,
Had you
kind of
guys,
like
like, kissed on this lunch? Like, were you
so. If I'm
Okay.
remembering right, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we basically were just like,
So you knew, like, you're not here to be my friend. You're
yes,
coming to Minnesota to we're
yes,
seeing if this is gonna be like
yeah,
we're gonna date.
yep,
Yeah.
which is so interesting too, because or maybe it was right after Christmas, because it was my dad's 60th birthday party,
Oh,
and he had met, like, everyone I've ever known in my whole life at this
welcome.
party. Yes,
The
and
test to tell all here.
right, and my family's like, "When did you start dating this guy?" I was like, "I think a couple weeks ago." Like,
I
I
think we're dating. Are you
think
my
we're dating,
boyfriend?
like, whatever, but we had, like, a great time, like, my family loved him, and then it was pretty, like, serious right away, and people think that we're crazy for this, but we got engaged, like, 4 months later.
I mean, when you know.
Yeah, and we had such a
He
good
clearly yeah.
base of friendship, like, we had spent like, people think that, like, "Oh, you only knew him for 4 months." So it's like, we knew each other for a long time and, like, had been
Right.
building like, we had built this, like, great platonic relationship
Yeah.
and talked about so much, like, deep
The
stuff.
friendship was
Yeah,
there.
and so when we did kinda take that romantic turn, like, it just, like, felt right and felt good being fast, and I
Yeah.
think part of too what, like, kind of sped things along is he was like, "Well, so when are you moving to Charlotte?" And I was like, "I'm not moving anywhere for a boyfriend."
Yeah. Good for
Gotta
you.
be a s there's gotta be a certain level of commitment, like, I was like,
Yeah.
"I can just like, uproot my life for
Yeah.
a boyfriend." I was like, "I like my life in Florida, like, I really like you, but, you know." It's like
Until you
there's
put a ring on it, I'm not gonna move there.
exactly, and I was too I always was very firm on, like, I did not wanna live with someone before we were married, and then that became very impractical, just in the fact of, like,
Yes.
I was like, "We can't do an engagement with, like, an 8-hour drive between us,"
Right.
and I was like, since we did date for, like, such a short period of time, like, there is, like, a lot more, like, bonding and maturing that we should do before we get married. But we
Right.
got so our first, like, lunch date, whatever, was in December, and we got m married the following November. So
My
we were married before our one-year anniversary of dating.
wow. That
Yeah.
is that's really cool though. I
Yeah,
mean,
isn't that kind of funny?
I think that's amazing. I mean, we go through these sort of pattern or not patterns, but like these steps in a way or whatever. Like I would say the average timeline, and I mean, this is what we did, so maybe I'm just going off this, but I do feel like in a grand scope, I feel like the average timeline is you date for 2 years, get engaged, get married a year later, so it's been 3 years by the time you're married. Do you
Yeah.
feel like that?
Yeah, yeah, I
But
did
to
have
me, I don't also get that. Like, I don't think that there needs to be I think when you know, and you have a lifetime together beyond
yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, and I look back at, like, kind of how, like, our grandparents used to do things, and it was,
yeah.
like, a lot of times they only dated for, like, a couple months,
Mhm.
and there's a certain part of marriage that is just, like, flat out commitment,
Yeah.
and so, like, once you've picked that person, like, it's not always gonna be, like, rainbows and butterflies, but, like, once you've made those vows, you've made that commitment,
Yeah.
that's your choice, and that's your choice forever? So, as
R
much as, like, you want to be sure, like, we're all flawed people, no one's perfect, and so there's gonna be sacrifices that you have to make along the way and compromises, and you just have to pick the person that you want by your side to do it.
wow, that is such a beautiful thing to hear. I love that. I mean, and you're absolutely right. But I think you guys are fairly new still even in your relationship and to say something like that is very mature and very like that's something people say much later on down the road. You're obviously very mature people and I think that's beautiful. And how long have you guys been married now?
But, like, a year and a half, so it'll be 2
Yeah.
years in November. Yeah, so not
Yeah,
super long, yeah.
it's amazing. That's
Yeah.
so that I mean, I think that's amazing. I just think good for you guys. Like when you know, and he obviously I love this whole timeline of your story, how he was like, "There's a storm, and I'm here." Like,
Yeah.
he was obviously set on, "This is
Yeah.
the girl I'm gonna marry."
Which now I know, like, that even telling him that I had a flight, like, of course he's gonna find which flight it is, like, he's
Right.
so, into, like, the tail numbers and, like, having like, I think he pays a subscription to, like, see all the, like, flights that are, like, private and whatever, and just, like, he's just
That's
always
so funny. Is
loved
he
aviation
interested
stuff.
in ever, like, getting his pilot's license?
Yeah, so he started it last year, and he was,
No
like,
way.
99% of the way done with it. And then last year, the whole, like, switching teams thing happened, and
Yeah.
then his flight instructor, like, moved, and just, like, a bunch of stuff happened, so he never actually finished the like, he has all of his hours and all the tests taken and stuff. He had the last thing of just doing the, like, check ride with the, like,
Mm.
I don't know, federal flight people, and then he was done. So he still wants to be able to do that. That's been, like, a dream of his since he was a kid. His dad's a pilot, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's just something that he's always had a lot of interest in.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
cool. So when you guys fly to and from the racetrack, are you guys on Victory, or how do you guys get to and from the track?
Now we're on, I think, DEI
Oh, that's
planes?
right.
Yeah, yeah, so basically the same as Victory, so, yeah, we usually just fly on the team planes, but that was his dream is he, like, wanted us to get, like, a little plane and be able to fly to the close tracks and stuff, just like our
That
little
would be really
family, and
cool.
yeah, I hope we get to do it someday just 'cause he'd love it so much, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys have had like a whirlwind relationship, kind of quick and to the point. You get
Mhm.
you start dating, you get engaged, get married, you get pregnant.
Yeah.
So where are you at in your relationship right now? Like, do you guys feel settled? You were saying like, I'd like to be in our forever home, or like, where are you
Yeah.
guys living?
So
Where are you at?
we actually I found out that we were pregnant, like, 2 weeks after we moved houses, and so now we want to be
Yeah.
forever, but so that was also, like, just, like, a huge, like, God timing thing, but I think there's, like, in the sport world that we live in, like, there's so much uncertainty, and so much is also not even up to you. And
Yeah.
so it is like you kind of have to just trust in God's plan and know that like he's working everything out for good. And I think that's something that we've like really had to dive deep into like the last like
Yeah.
year of just like you can only plan for so much.
Yeah.
So I think he was like a little nervous right when I got pregnant just cuz he was like, "Oh, this wasn't like something that we had like planned for and anticipated."
Yeah.
Um, but it did not take long for him to be, like, super excited and yeah,
Yes. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Do you have a name picked out?
We do have a name picked out. Actually, we had both a girl and a boy name picked out, like, from, like, pretty shortly after we got married. Like, we've
Yeah.
just always had these 2 names in mind, and so we do have our name
Yeah.
picked out.
Is
Yeah.
it a surprise?
Kind of, like, our
Yeah.
family knows, but, like,
Okay, well,
kind
you
of
don't
like a
have to tell me, I get it.
public surprise. I'll text you later.
Yay, okay, text it to me. I'm in the inner circle of the baby name
Right?
knowledge. So, that's so funny, we did the same thing, we had a girl name and a boy name, and then we had a girl and a boy. We didn't have, like, a second girl name or a second boy name, we just had one of each, and then we
Yeah.
had one of each, and then when we had a 3rd baby, we were like, "What are we gonna name this baby?" And it's kinda off the wall, but
Yeah.
Bear, he is a little grizzly bear, like, he's a wild animal, our 3rd little boy. But
It's so fun to, like, pick out names together, but it's
yeah.
also so, like I had a couple names that I've, like, loved forever, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like that." Or, like, you don't know, like, he's like, "I knew a guy in high school that I didn't like with that name," or whatever, so it's like,
Uh-huh.
some just get, like, X'd off the list that you're like, I
I
like
know. I had a name that I loved that I would literally name, like, my boy Barbie this name or whatever. Like, it was the name that I was gonna name a son, and Ty was like, and I won't even say it because, like, I'm afraid people will hear this from his childhood or something. But Ty was like, "No, that kid peed his pants in like 7th grade. We're not naming our son that." And I was like,
Our kid's name is not gonna have the pants peer's name, you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, no, that kid pees his pants. Our kid's not going to pee his pants. Watch one of our sons pee their pants in 7th grade. And I'm going to be like, way
Yes.
to go, babe.
Yes, that's the whole, like, I hear about, like, parenting karma, like, whatever you, like, make fun of someone for doing, like, that's what your kid does, you know?
It's going to be that exact thing. Like now I've put it out there. I'm sure that's going to end up happening now.
Oh, that's so funny.
Poor boys. I'll try not to put that on Captain and Bear.
Right?
So that brings me to names though. And what a crazy thing that your name is Hailey. And as a
Yeah,
fellow Hailey spelt exactly the same, you know that there's a million ways people spell your name. Almost never spell it the way we spell it.
I
And
know,
then
and
what
it's
are the
like
odds that that's how his last name is spelled and
yeah,
your name? I mean,
and I didn't even know anyone with the last name Haley until
me either.
I met him, like, that's not super common, and I also
No.
don't feel like it's common for it to just be Haley for, like,
Right.
a girl's first name. Yeah, so my parents probably didn't know how big of a decision it was when they decided how to spell my name, but
That is such a
yeah,
good point. I need to ask my mom, like, why did you spell it the way you spelt it?
yeah, which
Yeah,
I say, I'm like, "It's the easiest way to spell it, like, there's
that's
no,
right.
like, extra stuff, you know?"
If you're like
But
me, you're like, "It's the right way." It's
yeah,
the
I'm
right
like,
way to
"It's
spell it.
correct."
Yes.
But no, the name thing has been really fun. It's
So
always it's always
mhm,
fun to see, like, people's reaction to it, like, when I'm making appointments and stuff, like, they
yeah,
almost always think it's a typo. Like, if
that's
I'm at, like,
right.
the OBGYN, I'm like,
Right.
Haley," I'll say my birthday, and they're like, "No, what's your last name?" And I was like, "Haley, Haley. "Okay, what's your first name?" "Also Haley, Haley." And then I'm usually ready with my license because 'cause they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's
So
real."
you did that's what I was gonna ask you, which I know is kind of a weird thing to ask, but I was wondering, like, did you legally get your name changed just because logistically I mean, of course, I honor taking my husband's last name. I think
Mhm.
that to me, that's important, but, like,
Yeah.
logistically, that might be a little complicated for
No,
you.
I
Yeah,
went all in.
I love that. I think that's awesome.
And then, it's funny when I'm making, like, reservations, like, for, like, appointments, like, medical stuff, normally they're, like, confused. But when
Yeah.
I'm making, like, reservations, like, they're always, like, very, like, "Okay." Like, I think they think I'm giving them a fake name. And then
Oh, yeah.
I always think, like, do they think Hailey Bieber's coming in? Like, when I come in? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
they feel like I'm, like, giving them an alias, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You're like
Yeah.
I remember watching an episode of Ellen once upon a time where she had, like, all these people on that had famous celebrities' names,
Mhm.
and to that effect, they were Julia Roberts was this one girl's name, and she's like, "People are always so disappointed when I show up to a restaurant and it's not
Yeah.
Julia Roberts, the actress," or whatever. It is such a unique name. What's your middle
Yeah.
name?
Lynn.
Okay.
Yep.
If it was Christine, I was gonna be, like, stunned because that's my
Is
middle
that's yours? Yep. Nope, it's Lynn, but
Yeah. Haley
yeah.
Lynn Haley.
And then I'll give you our little girl's middle name.
Okay.
So, I love names that mean something and, like, have,
Yeah.
like, a little tie to something, and so the little lunch place that we went to in Florida, her middle name is, like, the second name in that restaurant. So, we went to a
Oh,
place called Little Moyer's Cafe, and so her middle name is gonna be Moira.
Moira.
Yeah, so I just added a little A just to make it, like, girly.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. That is so special. Ugh,
yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah, we're excited about it.
So tell me about you guys. Like, tell me a little bit more about your relationship, your dynamic. Like, what is Justin? Do you guys what's your week in between the races look like? Do you guys like wind down? Do you go on dates? What's your favorite thing to do together?
Yeah, I always tell people, like, we are the same in the things that matter, and then in, like, all the, like, extra stuff, like, we could not be more different.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
our, like, core values and things that we, like, enjoy doing and stuff are, like, right in line with each other, but when it comes to, like, our, like, temperament and stuff, like, we are very different. Like, our skills and things that we're good at really complement each other, like, so
Good.
he is someone that his wheels, like, are just always turning, like, he cannot sit still, like, cannot not be
Yeah.
doing something, and so we're usually spending time doing something that, like, is, like, engaging, like, we'll go golfing or we'll play pickleball or he'll, like, be
Fun.
working on his RC cars, and I'll just sit out there and watch my show or something, like,
Yeah.
our versions of hanging out are very much just, like, doing, like, little activities or random things
Yeah.
that we enjoy, so we spend a lot of time golfing. Actually, I knew you were gonna, like, ask about our hobbies and stuff, and I was like, "What did I enjoy doing before I got pregnant?" You know, like,
Right.
I
'Cause
feel like
right
life
now you're like
yeah, because now I like napping, and
you're like, "My current hobby is Netflix and chill, like, to
Yes,
lay in my bed." Yes.
yes, and getting, like, 1 chore done a day
Yeah.
and then being exhausted, so, yeah, that was I have always been really big into golf. I got him into golf,
Mm,
and so we usually try to golf, like, a couple times a week. I haven't really been able to just because 'cause I've lost, like, all temperature regulation whatsoever, and so I, like, cannot be in the heat, and it's been so hot, so I
it's
haven't
been
really been able to
really
golf.
hot.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's been a hot
It
summer.
yeah, it's been kinda brutal, so, so he goes out and golfs with the boys and stuff, but
Yeah.
we'll be golfing together soon.
That's so fun. We golf
Yeah.
too. We actually just golfed on Sunday to have a rare Sunday at home, you know?
Yeah. It's a good way to spend it.
Yeah, so we try to get out and golf. Ty is pretty good and I'm pretty bad. But I try. I've been trying to golf for like I mean, I have probably gotten maybe less than 10 rounds in a year. And
And it's hard
I
to improve when you, like, play that sparingly, I think, especially, like, when you're trying to build, like, your foundations for the sport, like,
right.
and golf is so, like, tedious that, like, your
I
swing can change from day to day, nonetheless, like, month to month, you know?
Yeah, I've been trying to get my handicap down and I shoot right at it. And I mean, it's terrible. I'm like a 32 or something, 31. I don't know. It's bad. But I shoot right at it every time. I'm just like, I cannot get it lower. And
Right.
it's, it's crazy. But I
I know,
do like it. Like in a whole 18 holes, I will go through this whole roller coaster of loving it, hating it, so
right?
mad, loving it again, and then hating it again, and then sleeping on it and being like, "Let's go, let's play."
And then there's always, like, that one shot on, like, the last couple holes that, like,
Yeah.
keeps you coming back, that you're like,
Exactly.
"Okay, I'm good," you know? Like, I'm
LPGA, here I come.
yeah, exactly, like, I'll be back, you know? Actually, we went out and played yesterday. I say, like, played I think I played, like, 3 holes, and then I rode in the cart for the rest of the time,
It was
but
hot,
it was so
and
hot.
it's
And
so
so the
hot
only reason
again
I
when you're
really
pregnant.
the only reason I really went so we took, like, some little, like, baby pictures, whatever, like, our little announcement
Oh,
photos,
good.
and so that was really why I was there.
Yeah,
But Justin ended up shooting his, like, best round ever. He was so excited.
that's the baby.
I
She's the
know,
rock.
and I shot my best round ever, like, I think I was 8 weeks pregnant, and I was really, really sick, but my family was visiting, and so I was like, "I'm gonna tough it out in golf," and I ended up shooting my best round ever,
What was
and
it? Where are you at?
I shot a 79, and that was my
Okay,
first
hold on.
time.
I am mortified that I'm a 32 or whatever handicap and you're shooting 79?
I'm all over the board, but
That's
I've been golfing
insane!
since I was golfing when I was, like, really little, so and my mom was a golf coach, so
Do you have a golf handicap?
I don't, like, actively keep it. I think, the app that I use to, like, log my scores kind of does. I think I'm, like, a 12 or a
That
13 or
is
something.
insane. My
Yeah,
dad's gonna freak out.
that was my first time ever breaking 80, and I was so excited, and I had like, cause normally, we're
That's
not that
insane.
serious, So we'll play like breakfast balls and stuff and whatever. But this time I was playing with like my mom, the golf coach, my brother, who's a scratch golfer,
Oh
and
my
like
gosh.
Justin and my dad. And so I was like, I'm actually keep score like accurately. Like I was taking like when I shot it out of bounds, like I was like real
Taking a
PGA
stroke.
rule.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I shot a 79 and I was like, this one is so funny because it's gonna take me probably 3 years postpartum to, like, get back to this,
Yeah.
like,
No,
but
that's so true. Before I got pregnant with Bear, I was so close to shooting under 100, which, I mean, now I cannot believe how good of a golfer you are, but I was so close to breaking that, and then now I'm back to, like, a 109,
yeah,
112, whatever, and it's so annoying.
and it's hard, like, I so Justin just started, like, probably maybe, like, a year ago, a little over a year ago, and he's gotten a lot better, like, just in the last year, but he's the type that, like, he's watching all the videos, like,
Right.
he's like and I tell him, I'm like, "You should get custom clubs because it makes a huge difference, but,
That's
like,
a good point.
you need to play more and, like, establish, like, a consistent swing
Right.
before you can do that," and then I get home the other day, and I'm like, "What's this? What's this ping box? What did you do?" And he was like, "Well, I just ordered new clubs." He's like, "It's gonna help." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah. It's
whatever."
it's gotta be their idea, right? Like,
Yes. Oh, yes, it has to be his idea.
yeah.
And his idea now is he's like, "Well, I did a lot of research on them." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
that's"
I think that's where I've said to Ty, it's funny because it's kind of the roles reversed for us, but he's like, you need to just go get fitted for a set of clubs. And I'm like, it's not worth the money to spend on me for how bad I am. And he's like, but that's how you get better. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that's my next level is to actually get fitted and, put in the time. But
So I've always just played with my mom's hand-me-downs, and so I got fitted maybe, like, a year ago. In my first round that I played, I lost 10 strokes.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Like, it really makes a big difference.
I'm going to go to Golf Galaxy this afternoon.
Right?
Do they even
There's
do it there? I think they do.
so they do, but there's a little golf shop in Mooresville. I think it's actually just called The Golf Shop. It's on Brawley, I think?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I was looking to get custom fitted, and I was just, like, on Google, and this place had, like, wild reviews, like,
Oh, wow.
so many five-star reviews for custom fittings, and I went, and this guy was so knowledgeable, like, so helpful, so good at it. It
Nice.
made a big difference, so I'd recommend them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this is my next step in
Yeah.
my golf game.
And golf is, like, the one thing probably that I'm better than him at, and so it is
That's
funny to
fun.
see, like, the roles reverse of I'm, like, telling him, like, something like, "You should try this with your swing," and he's like, "Zip it," like
That's me and Ty, but the opposite. I'm
right?
don't even talk to me.
It's so hard, like, learning things from your spouse just 'cause, like,
Right.
someone else could say the same thing, but, like, the delivery, it just you receive it differently.
It's so true. I mean, Ty is like such a good coach, but I'm always just enough. Let me
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you said that Justin is super like intense about getting his sleep. Are you if you've listened to my podcast, I always ask this, like, how many pillows do you sleep with at night? What is your guys' nighttime routine?
So we both only sleep with one pillow, except now since I got pregnant, I got the, like, pregnancy pillow,
Okay.
and
Did you get the big one that looks like a
yeah.
tooth?
Yes, it's like a big U, and
Yep.
he wrestles with that thing all night. He's like, "This giant barrier that you've put between us," you know? And I'm like, "I'm just trying to be comfortable." Like, he always jokes that, like, 'cause he can sleep, like, really anywhere, like, he falls asleep pretty quick, and I've
That's
always had
nice.
really bad sleep problems, and so he'll, like, get up to get a drink of water or something at night, and I'll just be, like,
Yeah.
wide awake, like, "Do you
Yeah.
wanna hang out? Do you wanna do something?"
Do
Like
you wanna hang out? Should we put a show on? Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, you're up too? Like, what do you wanna do?" And he's like, "No, I'm not actually awake."
Oh my
but
gosh. Yeah.
so we both kind of like are scrollers to fall asleep. He actually falls asleep to like watching YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah.
And these YouTube videos that he watches are always the most like random assortment of stuff. Like he just loves to learn about different things. And
Yeah.
so he'll be watching, like I'll be like, "What are you watching?" And he'll be like, "Well, I'm watching how they constructed the San Francisco Bridge." I'm like, "Oh." And then 15 minutes later, I'll be like, "What are you watching now?" And he'll be like, "I'm watching this guy try to sail to the Bahamas from Florida
Oh my
on like
gosh.
a kayak that he made of recycled plastic." I was like, "How do you even find this stuff?" You know?
It's so interesting.
Yes, he just like I don't know, he's just someone that likes like intellectual stimulation, so he'll watch
Yeah.
really anything that he can learn.
Yeah.
It's like just random. I'm like, that's the most useless.
And then I'm over here watching, like, compilations of fail videos of people tripping and falling.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like watching the dumbest TikToks you've ever
Yeah.
seen, you know? So
Yeah.
so we're doing the same thing but different. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny. Are you into any shows right now?
We have been watching Prison Break. We'll go in, like,
Oh,
random, like, because he's kind of hard to get to watch a show,
so is
j
Ty.
just because he doesn't love, like, just sitting and being still for
Yeah.
a long period of time. So, we'll, like, go in phases, or we'll, like, kind of watch a show over a long period of time, especially, like, we'll watch shows in the bus just because there's not, like,
Yes.
a ton else to do, and so we'll go like, in the season, normally, we have, like, a show that we'll watch or something, and right now we're on Prison Break.
I need to try Prison Break. I have never
Yeah,
actually watched it. It
it's
looks
pretty
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have very different things that we like in a show.
Yeah. What do you
So
like in a
finding
show?
something I I love documentaries,
Yeah.
and he does too to, like, a certain extent, but, like, I don't know, the stuff that he likes learning about and the stuff that I like learning about are, like, a little bit different, and so it's hard to get one that, like, pleases both of us.
Right.
And then he likes, like sci-fi, like,
Mm.
I don't know, just action movies or whatever, and I'm like, I would love to watch, like, a love movie, you know? Like
There was a documentary that just came out fairly recently that I watched where it was actually about a guy in Washington and he was, like, robbing banks. Did you watch that?
I don't think so.
It was good, and I had started it because my mom told me about it because it was one of the, like, top 10 new things that came out on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
I'll text you whatever it was, but the guy was robbing banks, and it was a whole documentary, and it was happening in Washington, and my parents would hear about it all the time, these bank
Yeah.
robberies that were happening because it was, like, in their area, and when
Mhm.
they were I think it was happening in, like, the late '70s maybe, and so anyway, it's
Okay.
a whole story about that, and it's very interesting. If you like a documentary, that was a good
I'll
one.
have to add that to my list because I do like a true crime
Yeah,
thing every now and then, but, like, it needs to be, like, a very specific category of something that isn't gonna scare me, and that wouldn't
so true.
scare me. Yes.
That was not scary, like, I can handle that, but I can't handle scary.
No. I and I'm, like, a pretty paranoid person
Mhm.
as is, as far as, like, I check and make sure every door's locked, like, 3 times before I go to bed, like,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and so I just, like I don't need those, like, bad seeds planted in my mind. I don't need any more ideas,
I don't need
of,
any
like,
more
what
ideas
could
either.
happen to me.
Or like a book, some of my friends will
Yeah.
recommend a book. Like a lot of my friends are really into those sort of thriller type of books. I don't even know what you'd call them, but I'm like, no,
Yeah.
can't do it. It will
Yeah.
wake me out.
I know. I'll have bad dreams about it for,
Yeah.
like, a month. I don't love that. I
No.
really love, like, my guilty pleasures, like, cult documentaries.
Like, what was that one of about the LDS? That whole
Yes, like, there's ones about them,
yeah.
like, Waco, about different just, like,
Yes.
branches of people that just, like, kind of go off the rails. Like, I just
So
think that's
interesting.
I love learning about theology and stuff, and so,
Mm.
like, the way that people can twist theology, I'm like, "Oh,
I know.
that's so, like, interesting
I know.
and
I love
enticing
that.
to watch." I don't know.
So you've said a lot of things about, like this being God's plan or that certain your verbiage tells me you are a very like faithful woman. Do you believe in like are you guys believers? Where are you at with your faith?
Yeah, we both are. I was lucky enough to grow up in a family that, like, went to church. My parents always, like, talked to me about God. My, like, grandparents, aunts, uncles, like, are all people that I can lean on in that capacity.
Yeah.
And Justin too, like, he's a believer, and so that is something that we try really hard to, like, instill in our marriage. And I've always been taught that your marriage is between 3 people. It's you, your spouse, and God. And if
Wow.
that connection with God isn't there, like, it's gonna be really hard on both of you to be strong and to keep
Yeah.
that connection. And so that's something that we both, like, prioritize. And,
That's
um
beautiful.
yeah,
Really.
yeah.
I mean, you guys are so new in your marriage and to have that going into your marriage
Mhm.
is ideal. I mean, that's probably what you would think everyone does, but like we did not have that. We thought we did. We thought we had that until we got a few years into our marriage realizing how fragile it is and it is important to take it very serious and that the Lord is this third strand. And I mean, it's funny that we had our 10-year wedding anniversary and we were watching a lot of our wedding videos last December. And I'm like, wow, the things that we were saying during our vows and during our wedding and our amazing friend Ray Wright that he's a pit crew coach, but he married us. And anyway, it is that third strand is it's a braid, and without that third strand, that braid's gonna fall. It just is like
Yeah.
so much more important than I ever realized. And so I commend you guys, like kudos to have that already at such a young, age in your marriage. Like
Yeah,
that
and I
was
think it's so
so beautiful.
necessary for, like, setting the foundation of your marriage as well,
Yeah.
just because if you I feel like a lot of people go into, like, relationships and marriage and, like, they almost treat that person like a god. Like, that's who
So
they're
true.
idolizing, that's who they're just expecting the world from. And,
So
like, we're
true.
all imperfect, we all are gonna fail, like, we all have flaws. And
Yeah.
so I feel like I see a lot of people put a really unfair, like, expectation on their spouse. Like, he cannot be what, like, your heart craves from God. You
Yeah.
cannot put that on your spouse because 'cause you're gonna be disappointed every time
So
'cause
true.
they can't fulfill that. And so having that as, like, a foundational aspect of your marriage just really, for us, has set the tone of, like, how to move forward and how to navigate, like, hard times, how to navigate, like, disagreements and stuff like that.
That is such great advice. Anyone that is listening and thinking about marriage or even struggling in marriage, like that is something we always talk about. I always love to talk about that. And I always kind of leave it up to the person I'm interviewing and speaking with to divulge or get into the depths of that as much as they want to. But like,
Mhm.
I think that's so beautiful and such great advice. Because I say that as someone that absolutely did that. Like, I put Ty on a pedestal. He was responsible for my happiness when we
Mhm.
were first, which is so unfair. And to think that you're going to get that from your partner is like essentially like two leeches on each other and you're going to drain each other. And when
Yeah.
you think of it as you both going to God rather than each other, it really fulfills and fills up your love cup to then be able to pour out, and
Yeah. And I
that's
think we all have that, like, whether people are believers or not, like, as humans, we're just born with that, like,
yeah,
desire for what only God can accomplish in us. And
so
that
true.
transformation and that wholeness that we crave is something that only can come from him. And so it is so natural, like, in today's society, to want that from your spouse.
Mhm.
And I think that is kind of where a lot of couples probably hit that, like, breaking point of,
Yeah.
"This isn't fulfilling me in every way that I need." And
Mhm.
it's like, they're not supposed to do that for us, you
Yeah.
know? So I always go back to that verse, like, "Love is patient, love is kind,
Yeah.
love endures all things, believes all things." When we were kind of starting out in our relationship and trying to navigate, like, conflict or just, like, even disagreements, like, going back to, like, am I being patient? Like,
Mm.
am I being kind? Like, am I fulfilling, like, what love is? And that's something
Right.
that we've both brought each other back to a lot is how can we be that for each other? And obviously, we get all those gifts from God and we get that grace and that mercy from him, but how can we, like, be that for each other too?
That is so mature of you. I mean, I think that's you guys are starting like, you got the Kickstarter you got the starter package. We're like, it's a great that is just really beautiful. I haven't spoken to someone in such a young, whatever you wanna such a new marriage that is as healthy and, mature as you guys sound. That's really beautiful. You guys are, like, crushing it. Are
Thanks, and
you
I think it doesn't, like, come without, like, those dark
Of
days and stuff,
course, of
obviously, but
course.
it's just, like, how to help each other get through them.
And you're gonna but the thing I see is that hard things are gonna happen in your life, and
Mhm.
you already have such a good foundation of how you're going to tackle those things, and it is with the Lord versus so many people go through the hard thing, realize, "Oh, you're not gonna be the person that's gonna fulfill this and help this and solve this for me. I
Yeah.
need something greater." And where some people don't seek the Lord or want to fight for it, then that's just where their marriage will hit that stalemate every time, you know? And so I guess obviously you guys are going to go through lots of things throughout your life in your marriage but what a beautiful foundation. Like it's inspiring. It's very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I This has been so fun. I feel like I could keep talking to you all day, but I realized we've been talking for an hour. But I
Oh, I did not realize that.
no, I've loved this so much. Getting to know you, like starting, I mean, for anyone listening, we did not know each other. Like I have yet to see you in person and get to meet
I
you.
know.
But like this is
Well, now you know that we're both, like, kind of hermits that are just, like, in our butts, but I feel like for both myself and for him, I was like, I feel like people don't, like, know either of us, like, all that well,
yeah.
just because 'cause we're, like, kind of just in our own little, like, little bubble, but
Well, you know what changes that? Having a baby.
yeah.
Not that it changes that, but as far as at the racetrack, because then you're like, "Where are the other people with babies? I need
Yeah,
some
and
some of that."
I've gotten so much encouragement from other moms as
Yeah.
well, just of, like, I one of the first people that we actually told was the McDowells, and
Love it.
which we didn't know them, like, super well just because this is our first year really, like,
Yeah.
being in proximity to them, but I went through this, like, panic of, like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have a doctor, like, I don't know what I need to do next,
Yeah.
whatever," and I was like, "Who better to ask than someone with 5 kids?"
Right?
So I sent her a message. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need help. Like, I need, like, a list of doctors that you'd recommend or whatever and
Yeah.
stuff." And then the that next one of the next weekends that I had went to the racetrack was Mother's Day weekend, and she had put a little Mother's Day gift, like, in our bus of just, like,
Oh,
some words of encouragement and
yeah.
some little, like, pregnancy gifts, and so just, like, stuff like that, or moms, like, reaching out and be like, "I heard you've been really sick, like, just, like, hang in there, like,
Yeah.
know that it's all worth it," stuff like that, so I've already am feeling all the love from all the other moms, and it's been really
That's so
good.
great.
Yeah.
And Jamie is so sweet and great and a wealth of knowledge. I mean,
Yes. Both of them just, like, exude, like, love and joy and,
yeah.
like, kindness and are just, like, so warm, and
Mhm.
I feel like God kinda placed them, like, Justin and Michael on the same team together this year just, um,
Yeah.
in what is, like, a huge growing time for Justin and I, and I've just I feel
Yeah.
really lucky that we've, like, gotten to know them a little bit and just have good people around us, but
That is really cool. She's Jamie and Michael have always been good friends of ours. Like we love them and they have so much experience in this sport, so much experience as parents, so much experience as parents in this sport and dealing with like everything
yeah.
you're saying, having a baby mid-season. I mean, she's awesome. So yeah, she probably steered you in a good direction. Do you have any Oh, hello.
Ace has been hanging out with us, but yeah.
Do you have any like hopes or plans or thoughts about your birth? Are you feeling good? Like, are you just feeling like, what are your thoughts?
I am a little nervous about it. Just like, I don't know, like you
Of
just don't know what to
course.
expect. But and I've always been someone that like has had a crippling fear of childbirth. I don't know where that came
Mm,
from. I don't know why. And to the point where I thought like one day when I get that first pregnancy test that's positive, like I feel like I'm gonna have just like a breakdown about
mm.
having to give birth like eventually. And I
Yes,
felt
that.
so much peace about it like pretty
Mm,
much instantly. I was like, "Oh, that's really like wild how God just like changes you in that moment of like I still obviously have those fears, but yeah, I'm hoping to do it like unmedicated,
awesome.
mostly just because like all the medical intervention like scares me more than the pain does,
Hmm.
I think. So, like, an epidural, I'm like, I had fractured my back in high school, like, kind of where they put it in. I'm like, I don't know, like, I just don't wanna have that, like, in the back of my mind, like, stuff like that, and so I was like, "You know what? I feel like I could do it unmedicated." And
You
so I've
totally
been, like,
can.
really trying to learn, like, more about it and, like, reading some books and stuff and trying to
Yeah.
get myself amped up.
You're gonna crush it. I mean, I know you were texting me about doulas.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So I hired one.
You
I did
did?
hire
Did you
one.
hire
Mhm.
one from Helen's?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
did you get?
Her name's Kari.
Kari, not Carly.
Nope, not Carly.
Okay.
Carly was yours, right?
Yes.
She was busy.
Okay. So
Kari.
Kari. I don't know if I know who that is, but I'm
Yeah.
sure she will be incredible.
Yeah, we had they'd given me, like, a list of people, and I had, called her first, and our call went so good that I was like, "I don't feel like I need to talk to
Yeah.
anyone else." Like, this went great, like,
Yeah.
I feel good about it, so, yeah,
That's
so
great.
I'm, like, trying to get myself, like, mentally prepared, physically prepared. I'm, like, finally back to feeling like I can work out again,
Yeah.
and so that's been a big thing for me just because I was like, I feel like in the first trimester, like, I couldn't even get out of bed, so I
Yeah.
think just not only physically, but mentally, that does a lot for us too of just, like, feeling like we're strong and capable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I would say if you my biggest I guess advice or tip about going unmedicated would be to hire a doula like you've done. So I mean, you are 90% of the way there. The other
Yeah,
10 is
that was a Jamie McDowell tip. She's like, "You have to talk to Hailey. She loves birth. She loves
I do.
babies."
I do. I'm like trying not to be lecherous, but I'm like I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. So if you have any other questions, I mean, feel
Yeah.
free to ask. I don't want to bombard, but yes, that's
I'm sure I will have more
yeah,
questions or need more, at least, encouragement, like, "Are you
yeah.
sure I can do this?"
Oh, you can. Jamie did a home birth, which is incredible. I had
Yeah.
both of my unmedicated births in the hospital, but I like wanted a hospital setting because I was a VBAC. I was going
Mhm.
for a natural childbirth after a C-section, so I was a little bit wanting to just be there. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, so exciting. If you ever have any questions, I would
I know.
love to help.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited, and talking to Jamie, she's had, like, every option you could possibly have.
Yes, she had quite the like realm of every possibility in birth.
Yes. And I asked her, I was like, "What was your favorite?" And she's like, "Well, it was my home birth." And I was like, "That might be a little adventurous for me first time around."
True. Her
Yeah, and then
home
she's
birth
like,
was her
"Then
fourth.
you should get a doula."
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But getting a doula and in hospital, if you do decide to do it in hospital, like she will advocate for you, and that will be a huge aspect of that's
Yeah.
of it going and being successful, and it totally will be. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. That's the plan. Yeah. Thanks.
So good. Good for
You'll
you.
have to have me on again after so
Yes.
we can
Yes, please. You can be my first episode of the new year. That's
Yeah,
crazy to think.
I know. And I'm halfway, which is insane because I'm like I feel like in some ways the first 20 weeks like felt so drug out because I was so sick, but then like I was like I feel like I just found out, but
Yeah,
like January seems really far away, but I know it's gonna like
I know.
sneak up on us. So just because like end of the season goes so fast, it feels like.
You're gonna have
So
so much happening between, Halloween and New Year's. It just
yeah,
seems like it goes so fast. That end bit of your pregnancy will probably sneak up on you. Let's hope for
yeah.
that.
I hope so. I know. I hope it doesn't feel like it's like the longest
Yeah.
time ever, but
That's so exciting. Well, you'll have to text
yeah,
me what your baby name is. And
yeah. I'll let you know.
when do you think you guys are gonna announce?
I think we're gonna try to this week.
Okay.
Like today's Tuesday, so maybe like tomorrow or Thursday or
Okay, cool.
something. Because we had kind of toyed with the idea of not announcing it at all,
Yeah.
and I was like, it would be kind of cool to just like show up with a baby. And I was like, we'll have to see. Like maybe I'll be one of those people that like doesn't really like show a ton. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Justin, like I am looking really pregnant.
You're like,
And
we need to start telling some people.
I know, and I was like, I, one, am wearing the ugliest clothes because 'cause I'm trying to hide this bump, and she does not want to be hidden,
Yeah.
and anyone that also knows me knows I'm not like I think I've worn a dress to every race for the last month, and that isn't usually my
Yeah.
style. Not that anyone's, like, paying attention, that's so silly, but I was like, I am just, like, so uncomfortable in my own body. I'm so uncomfortable, like, in what I'm wearing because like, I'm wearing these, like, dresses that are literally, like, triangles, like, going out so wide, and I was like, "Oh, I we need to tell people
Yeah.
because I need to be able to look pregnant and
Right. I
have it
need to be able
feel
to
okay."
just let it hang and be like, everyone knows. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's so exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is really cool. I would love to have you on again after you have your
Yeah,
baby. Can't wait.
absolutely.
That's going to
I know,
be
that'll be so
so wild. And I wish you all the best in your remaining half of your pregnancy. And truly, if you have any questions, like Jamie said, I'm kind of obsessed.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have more because I feel like I come up with a new one every day,
I
so
know.
but it was really nice to talk to you too. Thank you
So
for
nice
having
to
me
talk to
on.
you. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming on, and let's do it again.